to our audience before we start this session called How to Promote Your Website, which is very important, of course, that you can install the ICI World app on your Android. You can install the ICI World app on your iPhone with the Play Store or the App Store. Install it. And the session today has been recorded previously, and you can click on the blog on your Androids and iPhones and Blackberries and actually play it right over. So when you finish today's session, you can actually hear last month's session. You can click on it and actually play it right on your mobile devices. Everyone should also add, in addition to the app, the ICIWorld.mobi site for their devices as well. And that's just installing it to the home screen using your browsers. And if you're not sure of what I'm saying, you're welcome to call back in, set a little short appointment, and we'll get this stuff going. We feel it's absolutely essential that you be checking new listings that are coming in on a regular basis. By the way, we have brand new cities that you can do that with right now too. Everyone has their own city now created in residential that you can subscribe to your city and receive those emails. If it's not working, you must let me know. All our membership must let us know if some of these things are not working, that every city has now been created. We're not going to go through that now. That'll be a subject of a personal one-on-one session and also emails, and plus we'll put some of this information in the blogs as well. Okay, so let's go back and let's start with the session today called How to Promote Your Website. This has been developed, people, over a long period of time, and you get the benefit of it today. There's some people that are charging, search engine optimizer people that are charging anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a month, and rightly so, because they spend a lot of time doing this stuff on your behalf. And some brokers are making $250,000 to $300,000 a year because they're able to get more leads off their website through search engine optimization and other ways. And so, yes, it can be very valuable because, of course, we all know that one lead can make you a lot of money. And so what we did is we thought that, well, why shouldn't we maybe attend some of these world search engine conventions and then share it with our thousands of members? And that's what we did. We actually went to a world search engine conference and spent $4,000 going there to learn, to spend a whole week with Yahoo and MSN and Google. And we were going into workshops all day long. They had these beautiful monitors all around the room where we could see websites and go right into the meta tags and keywords. And we were doing all that good stuff today. And we're going to do that today as well. Brian will be working on Brian's website, who kindly consented to do that, and to show you what they're doing. And once you get the hang of it, you can actually get in there and try to set your website up yourself to do it. And then when it comes to the pay-per-click, instead of paying someone else with a bit of a commission that's rightly earned by these people doing it for you, you can actually do it yourself and get the full benefit of things like pay-per-click and otherwise. And so we're going to cover that here today. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask them as we're going through. This session is open to asking questions at any time. You simply unmute yourself. The reason that you're muted is that if there was feedback or background noise where you are right now, the phone would ring and everybody online would hear it. But when you mute your phone, you can make as much noise as you want where you are. We will not hear it, and so therefore that'll be okay. All right, so let's move on. So one of the things that we do with social media, and you'll see that we're also using social media quite a bit, we're suggesting that these social medias are actually very, very important, and I'm going to show you why. They can generate a lot of leads, extra leads for your website. And how they generate extra leads and how you get them to do that, I'm going to show you by showing you what we're doing, and then you can do the same thing. You'll see here that we do have a blog, but I want to pay attention really to the social media, starting with LinkedIn. So you should mark this down. If you do not have LinkedIn, you must get it. It is simply your business card on the internet, and when people go or want to search who you are, they can search in LinkedIn who you are. And it's really just like the information that is on your business card. So this is not a security issue, in my opinion, like maybe Facebook. Some of you are holding off using Facebook because of security issues, and I understand that. In fact, we held off for many years, actually, in the beginning of Facebook because of those security issues. Why should we be giving personal information to a bunch of thieves out there, and so that they can try to take advantage of you for identity theft and all kinds of things? But LinkedIn is just your business card. It's the same information you put in an ad in a newspaper with a few nice things that it does. One of the things it does, it will give your qualifications. In other words, in LinkedIn, you should have the fact, in fact, maybe I'll click on LinkedIn right now. You should have your credentials. You should say that you are a realtor with the Canadian Real Estate Association. You're a member of the Ontario Real Estate Association. And you should list your company that you work for, and the fact that maybe you do some charitable events and different things. And so that becomes like your credentials on the internet. And when you've got, in the case of Canada, about 300,000 people immigrating to Canada each year, and they don't know who they're dealing with, these people, or some of them, are very advanced in using computers, because you have to have a certain kind of net worth and knowledge of this stuff to kind of get into Canada, in that case, and even the United States. And so they'll go on the internet, and if they're on LinkedIn and they can see all your credentials, they're going to feel entrusted with you, that they're dealing with a certain level of integrity, a certain level of sincerity, a certain level of knowledge, professionalism, contacts in the business, that kind of thing. And that's very, very important. And so that will help generate a lead where maybe someone else who has no LinkedIn, they can't find out who they are. They might be good, but they're not going to take a chance. And so by LinkedIn, they go there, and then they're going to see the links that you have to your website. And then when they check out your website and they see how wonderful it is, how you've got all the listings in an area, exclusive and residential, MLS, and exclusive, commercial and residential, and everything, by golly, they're going to maybe want to deal with you because of that. The same thing is true of Facebook, which comes in handy with all of your family members. Every one of you has a sphere of influence of 100, 200, 300 people. You just think about how many people attended the last wedding that you went to. That's one of your spheres of influences, are those people. So if you have a fan page on your website and you have all the information on your website, on your Facebook, and you're networking with these people on your Facebook for family reasons, personal reasons, acquaintances, pictures of, maybe your kids to some of your family members, those kinds of things, and, they graduate, you like to announce it and all that kind of good stuff, then they'll visit your Facebook page and they'll see pictures and do stuff, and then as they're browsing around, bingo, they can see your fan page or they can see your website, take a link to it, and then they realize that here they were a family member of yours and they maybe haven't used you as much as they could or should, and when they see your website and see how powerful it is, how many listings you have, the residential, commercial with color photos, they can subscribe to receive the listings by email, MLS, exclusive, all of these things come into play. They start to realize that maybe you were really the person they should have been dealing with all along if they haven't been. And so your fan page and your Facebook can actually trigger leads for you. You can do a Twitter as well to all of your fans, and why not send them out information if there happens to be a charitable event coming up, if there's some news for, I like to send out little articles, of course, for real estate people are all on my particular following, and everyone should follow our Twitter because it has a lot of articles of interest for real estate people. And I also take an interest in health, and so if there's little things for health that we've learned over the years, and you may or may not like Dr. Oz, but he's got a lot of good things there for us. Sort of learning from that. We learn from everyone. And I like to share some of these issues, health issues, so we can all live a lot longer, healthy, prosperous life. The YouTube is important because, like today's session, for instance, we're actually recording today's session, and I'll make that available at a later time that you can share with other people, share with your friends, not with other colleagues is what our good stuff is to be shared with your colleagues. And that's the nice thing about Twitter, because if you want to share it with your following on Twitter, you can pick and choose the articles, because some of them, like our health issues, you might want to pass that on if you're so inclined, and you can pass those things on to your memberships. And also messages that come through in all of these identifiable social media outlets, you can select each article to do. Now, what's nice about selecting articles, there's so many articles that we have that you'll actually, and I'll show you one here, and this is all part of the search engine optimization, people. This is part of generating leads for your website. I'm going to show you here that you can actually start up a newspaper and pick your own things that you want in the newspaper. It's called paper.ly. You can do that, and once it's set up, it can be absolutely be sort of self-sufficient, running on its own with deals, with the articles coming in. And I'm going to show you the ICI World newspaper. You'll see all the different articles that affect real estate people. And so every one of you should be subscribed to this, because there's always an article of interest for real estate people in this particular newspaper. And it's all under business. Now, I don't get into some of these other education technology, although they're also interesting. We try to set that up. But business is the big one for us, for ICI World and our commercial and residential world news. And you will find that there are articles here that you could use maybe in your blog. In other words, if Realtor.org sends out an article, you can check with them whether or not you can use it in your blog. I would definitely change it and put it in your own words. You will get the approval to do that from these organizations as long as you quote them as a source. So quote them as a source, but change the words. Otherwise, it starts to look like duplication on the internet, and of course, Google doesn't like duplication, plagiarizing, that kind of thing. But if you change it, that's legitimate. In fact, these organizations and people who write these articles actually sort of like these things, as long as you quote them as the source. So there's a source of information for your blogs. Blogs are used to promote your website, to promote your properties. This is all part of getting more traffic to your website. Now, so you're getting sort of an idea now that there's more to just promoting a website than just search engine optimization. And you can take these seminars that we're doing each month, and you can take them each month and kind of learn more from them, because we always are adding and giving a different slant on different things as we're going through here. Okay, so those are part of the searching, the social media that you see on there. And of course, there's other ones with Pinterest and those kinds of things which you can get into with pictures and that kind of thing as well. But it started right here. Google Plus is another one. They got a lot of good tools too in Google Plus that can help you when you're dealing with clients, to show them documents right on the screen as you're working on them and explain things to people. You can set this up much like the meeting that you and we are having right now. You can actually do some of this stuff using Google Plus. There are programs within that that will do what I'm doing. The reason we're using GoToMeeting is because it can handle as many as 1,000 people online, which we're growing. We've always had visions of having that someday. And good news to announce, we've just had a real estate board join our service. They're going to be helping to promote it to all of their 1,500 members, and you'll be hearing press releases or news coming out on that coming up in the foreseeable future here. Okay, so let's move on and continue on with the presentation here today. Okay, let's do this. All right, that's always a reminder for me. Oopsie daisy, I've actually got the wrong presentation here. I'm going to close that one. And the one that we wanted to do was the one on how to promote your website here. Let's continue. Now, so from learning at these World Search Engine Optimization Conventions, the #1 thing is to make your websites relevant. And that was the most important thing that you could learn by going down there for the full week. And you do that by having 3 or 4 sentences on the front page. So if you're doing real estate in Thornhill, you mention that a few times on the front page and sprinkled throughout your website. That's important because Google has a way of going in and seeing how many of these keyword phrases that you have sprinkled throughout your website. And then if you have the basic 5, and you can mark this down, the basic 5, I'm going to start mentioning it right now. Everyone should mark this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath each other on a sheet of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath each other, and we're going to allow, you're going to be writing in items. And these are the big 5 that I feel we learned by going down to the search engine convention. I'm going to add a 6th one now too today, a 6th one. So mark in number 6 as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark that down on a pad of paper, and we're going to be filling them in. If you do these 6 things, you're going to start to have a better chance to come up in a natural fashion, an organic fashion without pay-per-click than if you don't do these things. And so, you know, we're a realtor as well, learning what works and what does not work. And if you want to see the testimonials of people doing deals, and it's just amazing. I'm hearing about them today, people getting leads on all their properties, and it's just wonderful to see this stuff happen. It's all cutting-edge technology, so nothing is perfected. It's all evolving. I think the perfection is in the goal. We have the goal to make sure everyone's connecting in with this, and the public, the audience, the rest of the industry, because on our service, licensed real estate brokers are the central controllers of the information. You are all the controlling the information that comes on here, and that and it has to flow through your hands. In other words, the public cannot cut you out of a deal on ICI World. They have to go through one of you in order to do some business. There's many benefits in doing that. The protection to the public, the whole term realtor is absolutely important and stands out because there's a code of ethics involved. So every one of you are treating people properly to look after them, and with a code of ethics, a code of conduct, and that's a very good insurance policy for anybody that's purchasing a property, the largest single sale in their own life. And there's 40 to 50 different items that have to be covered in every single sale. So having all the information go through licensed real estate broker helps protect the public and provides good service. And so we also appreciate your feedback and your input. And of course, our pledge is one thing that you should also know. And the pledge has changed just a tiny bit. And we're going to show you what that pledge is to make sure that you're all aware of it. I'll go to about, there's many places that the pledge does appear. And I'm going to click on that, and it's coming up a little slow. So I'm going to actually plug in from wireless and plug into a direct line. Sometimes it'll help a little faster if I click on plug and click on our pledge. Now when I click on our pledge, this is as of yesterday, we've modified it. And you can see the old pledge right here. It's very similar. But as a member, if you go more than 90 days without doing business, or at the very least without developing a new business relationship with someone that you feel will lead to doing business by using the tools that we supply to you, you call us and give us a chance, let us train you on how to do that. And we do have things like the material defects and solutions down here. You click on that, and it will give you a complete checklist of items and things that you can be looking at, and that's what we're doing today, website optimization and promoting. And you'll see that it's number 1, 2 on the things that are important. That's why these special webinars are being put on here today, is because one lead can make you a lot of money. So that's our pledge. Let's continue on. Why promote with a passion? I often say that every single realtor should promote their websites with a passion. And the reason, of course, is that the highest return on investment of any industry on the internet is for real estate. And because one lead can actually make you a lot of money. And we've got all kinds of examples of that. This is your business. This is like your office building on the internet where there's over 2.5 billion people and where there's over 5 billion devices in the world. In fact, there's more devices in the world than there are people, which is over 7 billion actually. And if you can send your buyer, one buyer, to your website, if you're on an open house and you get 5 people coming in and 3 of them are not working with another broker, you should get them going to your website, because if you can have them call you on a home that they're interested in, and you close on an appointment and go show the property, bingo, you have an offer, you have a chance to write an offer. If you do an open house this Sunday, they see something on your website, maybe not the open house, but on your website, you could be showing something on Monday. So it gives you a chance to make money. So promoting your website, talking it up, and we're going to show you how to promote it with a passion on a one-on-one basis with people, because that's a point where you can actually start, and it starts with your business card, how you hand it out. We'll cover that in a moment. But before you promote your website, you got to make sure that your website is optimized. And the links to listings, logging into your website a minimum of once a month is essential. If you're not doing that, you're missing out. You must look after your to-do list every time you log in, or you're missing out. And you must have at least a minimum of 1 or 2 listings on your personal website with photos. You can have them either exclusive, or if they're on MLS, make sure you have the DDF feed from your real estate association hooked up, so when you hand in an MLS listing, it automatically goes on your website. Take notes if you don't have some of these items. This is like a checklist, what I'm going through here today, people. For 90 minutes, checklist, mark it down if you don't have it, mark it in there, and you can kind of plug those holes in your marketing and make sure they're working for you. And then, of course, the other thing is the IDX link from your local real estate board, if it's available, and have that so that people can search the MLS on your board. But having that is important, because other brokers are going to do handshakes with you. And if you have 1 or 2 listings, other brokers will do handshakes with you, at least on the websites that we're supplying. And if you don't have that, then you're not getting as many handshakes, you're not getting as many listings, and maybe it was one of those listings that you're not getting that someone could be interested in, and if they can't see them, you actually are missing doing deals and not even realizing it. All brokers agree with that statement. And so we want to make sure that you are maximized. There's no bells that go off to let you know this stuff. It's only sort of what we're conveying to you right now. There's no other way that you would even know this is going on unless we mentioned it to you. And so that's why this session today, there's a lot of little tidbits that are very important, the difference between making money and not making money. So having 1 or 2 listings with your own photos, people can see, okay, they know how to put their photos on, make it attractive. I will allow your listings to be on my website and vice versa. Therefore, you end up with more listings on your website, more opportunities to trigger leads to all the people that you meet from your open houses and everything else. They can see your website, your spheres of influence from your Facebooks and from all the people that you meet in other different ways. Bingo, they see more listings, and as a result, you'll be triggering more leads. Now, you can program every buyer into your website as well. You want more leads? Trigger every single buyer that even mentions the slightest opportunity. Say, you know, I'm thinking of buying a home in the summer or in the autumn. You can program your buyers right into your website. Now, I'm not going to do that today. I might go through it a little later when we pull up search engine optimization. I can pass it, and if you want to mention it. But every one of your websites should have that. If you don't have one of the websites we've supplied, the MLS at your local real estate board can be programmed to do it, but the MLS cannot send out the exclusive listings. And one of these exclusive listings, it could be any time in the next 1, 2, 3 years. If somebody gets one of those exclusive ones, that could be the sale that you make that makes you $10,000 or $15,000, essentially paying for all of these services for a lifetime. And you should be triggering leads a minimum of every 3 months here. Now, adding resources to your website, that's another good one. Mark this down. In the training videos on ICI World, there is a section number 14 in the training videos. Number 14 gives you a list of resources that you can add to your website. You should have things like the link to the local city hall, which has a wealth of resources, links to community centers, shopping centers, the police department, maybe even the hydro and the gas and utilities, so that when somebody moves in from out of your area, what are the questions that they would like to know about purchasing a home in that area? It could even be links to the land transfer tax, how to calculate it, how to calculate how much lawyers' fees are going to be. All of those can be links in your resources center on your website. And that can actually stimulate traffic over a period of time, because people will say, listen, if you want to find out about this, that, or the other thing, go to this person's website, a realtor that I know, and they've got a list of all of these resources on his website, upcoming events. You know, you could link to a page that is on the City Hall that has all the events, or the tourist page for your area, all the events that are coming up in your area during the summer, and put that on to your website. Then when you do a blog, you can tell people all the resources that you have on your website, that you've got this and you've got that, and you could even have apps for their mobile devices. You can do all kinds of wonderful things. This is like a television program, really, when you think about it, to get all this information that you think could be of value to all of your customers and clients. You become a source of knowledge, a sort of an expert on what's happening on all these different things that are going on. Put them into your resources. It's just a wonderful source of information, and that's really what we do, is give service to people, so it helps them. And you can put schools and parks and churches and all those links to those organizations and associations and etc. Okay, let's move on. Now, the key, as all of you know, for triggering ads is listings. I mean, if you don't have listings on your website, they can go find out about all these resources all they want, but that doesn't trigger a call to go see a home with you. What you want to do is you've got to have listings on your website. So without listings, driving traffic, you could drive all the traffic you want. People have told me, you know, I've been spending money, I drive until I get thousands, I get the hits on my website, but I'm not getting any calls. So I go and I look at their website, and one of the first things that I see is addresses. Now I have a question for all of you. I think I already know the answer, because I've asked this question for years and get the same answer. If a customer sees an address on your website, is it possible that they might drive by the property first before calling you? And then if they drive by the property first before calling you, they might see the sign from the other realtor, and then they might end up calling that other realtor and end up doing a deal. And of course, that other realtor doesn't even know where that came from. He just knows he did a deal, and he doesn't know enough to call you back and say thank you. You know, so having addresses as on listings, that can be one of the issues, but it's important for people that you have developed good business relationships with. All of you have good customers that will deal with you. They'll even look up MLS numbers, call you back and say, I'd like to go see these three. That's good. But then to trigger leads from new people, it might not be doing the job that you'd like it to do. And that's where the special listing inventory that we create for you, the special widgets that we create, not only through ICI World, from all the other brokers who have agreed to allow their listings to be on your website. You know, it took 4 years to do that, to get it all so that every single listing that was on ICI World had to be either agreed to or not agreed to. Will you allow your listing to be advertised on other brokers' websites? So if you answer no, you're on one website, but if you answer yes, you are instantly on over 1,000 websites when you add a listing to ICI World. That number, folks, is growing, especially with the new real estate board coming online. We've never had a major real estate board join us, sort of the service, and help promote it in an official capacity like this, even though we've had leaders and members of boards of directors of real estate boards throughout the United States and Canada that are on our service. We've had members of licensing bodies on RICO that are members on ICI World, but we've never had an actual board kind of join us. So we're very privileged and honored, and we look forward to that relationship to really make it work for all of their members, and so we're excited about that. So having commercial and residential listings are absolutely important. People that have a residential site say, Gary, why do I need commercial? Well, if someone, commercial by the way, there's an overlap here because apartment buildings sometimes are considered residential by residential people, but under commercial, we're considering it commercial. So some of you are actually already doing residential through apartment buildings, duplexes, that kind of thing. But if somebody calls you on a $1 million property that's, say, either in your area or not in your area of expertise, and they ask you for help on something, you can say, yes, I can help you. I will have someone call you back. Then you can get a hold of the other broker that's got that $1 million listing out of your area or something that you don't want to deal in, whether it be a shopping center, an office building, or a $1 million home in the case of maybe a realtor who is a commercial broker, doesn't want to sell residential. You can do referrals and say, I'll have somebody call you back, get a hold of the other broker, mention that you have a lead for them, is a 25% referral commission okay with you, and then put your referral agreements in place the way you normally do referrals, and bingo, that's a 5-minute job to do that, and it's averaging $3,000 to $10,000. The best one that I've shared with you is a gentleman out of Remax in Peterborough who's done 15 of those over a 6-month period, and he's actually made $45,000 doing a series of 15 referrals. So yes, it works, but you got to get the listings on your website. You got to get everything going in. You got to get traffic. You got to get this all together. So the concept of structuring to hide these addresses can be done with these new point-to-agent websites that most brokers are not doing, to be quite honest. Every time I go to sites, they don't do it, but the ones that are members on ICI World, that's one of the things we're recommending at this time. Things can change, you know, over time. All kinds of concepts and policies and the way we do things can be changed, and we've done changes over the years to try to incorporate these new concepts, and because we're working with you very, very closely, we're experimenting with what works and what doesn't work. So we're actually out there belly to belly, so to speak, in the marketplace. The types of listings that trigger leads are now on the screen, and you'll notice that it's more than what you presently all have on your website. So there are options. You can have, if you specialize in any one of these, even specializing in condos, which is not on this list, you can have a special condo button sorted by price for your particular area. In fact, you could have a button called assignments. You can have waterfront as a button on your website. And so these different things can actually be a reason why somebody can click on any one of these buttons that you see on the screen, and bingo, somebody sees something that interests them, they have to call you. That's the big deal going on here. When somebody sees a listing, you want to have it. Now, if you're no longer a member, the widget will stay on your website, but it will switch to the one that people can click on. Now, a lot of people have links to Toronto Real Estate Board and to other services, so ours becomes a link that people can actually even have free. But when it's free, people can click on the message numbers. When it's a paid link, it actually switches so that people cannot click on those message numbers. And then let's move on. So the reasons why you're not getting leads, that listings can be not structured properly, a lack of listings, no traffic to your website, and the need to promote your website. A lot of brokers don't realize that you have to promote your website. And also, listings may not be framed on your website. They should be framed so that they come up within your website and not sort of takes it to an external page and on your website. Okay, someone did come in late and they're asking a question, and that's great. I'm just going to open it up to, let's say, Sandy. If you want, oh no, actually you were here, Sandy. Go ahead. Just unmute yourself, Sandy. You did have a question. Have I gone too far, though? Go ahead, Sandy.
Hi.
Go ahead.
May I get to that?
Yes, I can hear you.
My question actually goes back a couple of slides, and it was based on...
Can you talk a little closer to the microphone on your computer, please? I notice you don't have a USB headset and microphone, so we're having a tough time hearing you. If you talk closer to your computer, that'll help. Go ahead, Sandy.
Sure. Is this better?
Go ahead.
My question goes back to a few slides where you had listed 15 listings you should advertise on ICI World. And my question based on, what do you mean by 15 listings? What if I don't have 15 listings that I can advertise on ICI.
Okay, can anyone else hear her question more clear than I can? Anyone that I've unmuted before, could you hear that question better than me? Anyone?
Yes, it's Brian here. She's asked that if she doesn't have 15 listings, you would like minimum 15 listings. How does she respond to that?
Okay, is that the question, Sandy? In other words, if you don't have 15 listings, what do you do?
That's right.
Okay, very good. Good question. Well, first of all, one of the nice things, you can go ahead and mute yourself again because we are, okay, that's great. And that keeps it nice and clear for everyone, I hope. But the 15 listing concept is this. You need to learn the 3 special questions, which I'm not going to cover today. But when you learn the 3 special questions, every single member who has a license to trade in real estate in the world can get up to 15 by asking those 3 special questions. If you look in the newspaper tonight, there's all kinds of people trying to sell properties themselves privately. In your area, there's FSBOs. And so by simply asking those 3 questions, they'll give you verbal permission, and as long as you don't place an address or identify a property, you can put them on ICI World, which is the difference from what we're doing from real estate boards. And that allows you to have opportunities, inventory on the internet where there's billions of people, and it's more likely to trigger a call. Until you get up to 15, however, your website actually has lots of listings. Because of the virtue of your relationship with ICI World, we are supplying widgets for your website which has listings. You've got residential listings on your website, you've got commercial listings on your website, and as time goes on, you'll have more and more in your area. So you actually do have listings on your website by virtue of having one of these .2 agent websites, if that's one that you have, and the widgets on all your websites, if that's the case. Hopefully that will answer your question. Does it? Maybe I can get a yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Sandy. Let's continue on. That's a good question too, by the way. Okay, let's continue moving on. Now, a lot of the issues that we have here, covering this in this one session, but you know, how can you possibly absorb what's going on today? I'm going to tell you now it's impossible. I don't think it's possible to absorb everything that's going on in this particular session today, but what it is going to do, hopefully, is very important, is to impress upon you the importance of promoting your website, and that there are a number of ways that you can promote your website. You're going to find the ones that are comfortable for you, that are suit your personality and the way you do business, and you can pick and choose these things. These are all tools, and every single one of these tools has been used by people. I'm not bringing up tools that have not been used. They have all been used by people that I've talked to and incorporated into this particular program. Now, one of the things we do is starting to put more and more things onto video so that you can learn them at your own time, at your own convenience. And so in ICI World, when you log in, there is a training video section that you can log into. If anybody doesn't know where it is, just ask me, but I think everyone knows, so I'm not going to go over it. Basically, log in, and on the left-hand side, when you log in, there will be training videos. And one of the videos is video number 17 on domain names. I don't think anyone should get themselves a website and give it a domain name until you've got that domain name video under your belt. That's a 22-minute video that'll explain all about domain names, and we're actually going to cover what's in that video today. How to promote your website, video number 15. People, there's a big section. It's the biggest section in the training videos, is how to promote your website. There are videos, there are links, there's Google tools, there's a .2 agent link to go in, how to promote website. We're not only going to give you what we have learned, we're going to provide links to what other people are teaching. And so you're going to get a wealth of links and resources by going to section number 15 of how to promote your website in the training videos on the ICI World, and all of those links are very, very valuable. And there's videos on a workshop there as well. Now, these YouTube videos, when you go to our YouTube, and if you happen to be on one of your mobile devices, it can actually be very comfortable, just sort of resting or relaxing and just kind of listening to it on your mobile phone, and put it on hands-free, be listening to it. So we're making it comfortable that you can listen to them on your Androids and iPhones and your BlackBerries and any mobile device, including your iPads, etc., not just on computers. You know, these mobile devices is part of the new internet revolution going on today. So having a mobile website for yourselves, you can see me, I'm getting passionate about that, is absolutely essential because I know they make money. I know they work for realtors, the ones that have used them, the ones that have given out their website address and you give them out to your customers. Boy, do they get excited when they can go right on their own handheld device, do a search for a property, program themselves to receive listings from your website, and next thing you know, 2 weeks from now, they get an email because somebody did that, a listing from your website that's automatically sent out on this exclusive listing, and bingo, they call you up and they want to go see it tonight at 7 o'clock. I mean, that is a refreshing kind of call. So you want to get all of this stuff out there and mobilized into the marketplace with your website, and the people that are with ICI World learning this stuff, you're going to be ahead of the market on what's going on out there over the next 1, 2, 3 years, because I'm telling you now, some people are not grasping this stuff. They're not taking advantage of it. They've just sort of tuned it out that it's too complicated. And I know it's complicated and it sounds like gobbledygook, some of the stuff we're doing. But I'm suggesting that after 2 or 3 sessions, what you're doing, you're going to learn a little bit in each one that you can start to employ. And if you get one person that calls you and you make $10,000, that you're going to start to get the taste of it, that you can do it more and more. So getting to those, getting that happening for you is our what we're trying to do here today. Now you'll notice that there's also something here called contact. Oh, by the way, if you do listen to a video on your mobile device, make sure you are not using your paid bandwidth. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi. I'm still finding people that are not using the Wi-Fi. If you go to a restaurant, switch to Wi-Fi. And in fact, if you're taking your mobile device, you don't need a card in Europe or any place else in the rest of the world. Make sure that you know how to connect to Wi-Fi wherever you go. If you go into a restaurant in Venice, you can connect to Wi-Fi, you can use Skype and make a long-distance phone call, absolutely free, people. This is part of the training and education that we're doing in all of these sessions, and make sure you know how to do that. Now, contacting customer care in point 2, what I'm going to do now is have Brian come on the line. Brian, can you come on the line? And Brian, okay, good. Do you have your website up on your screen logged into?
No.
Okay, can you work on that while I continue the seminar?
Sure.
Okay, because we talked about it yesterday, people, and Brian was kind enough to agree to allow his website to be an example of logging into it today and taking advantage of these features. Get yourself logged in. Let me know when you do. Keep your line open because you're okay there, Brian, unless you think there's going to be noise or anything, and we're going to continue on. And bring up this contact customer care, people, later. I'm going to show you where point 2 actually has a manual that has how to promote your website as well, which is really good. Now, everyone should mark this address down, iciworld.net/real-estate-resources. And I'm going to change it to realestate.com. Everything's being changed over. This is another thing, people, iciworld.com, the reason we're changing it over from iciworld.net. We had some people that were engaging to do some work for us that worked, 2 senior members of Google from California have moved into Toronto, and we're talking to them about helping us with more search engine optimization and doing things of a global nature. And they said when they did a search of the registration of the domain name, we actually had the first basic real estate domain name in the world back in 1994 registered. Google will actually look at the length of tenure of how long you have had a domain name. And do you see number 6 that you have marked down on your pages of paper? Mark this down. If you register a domain name for 10 years and somebody else has registered a domain name for 1 year, and if there's a choice to bring up the one website for 10 years over the one with 1 year, they will bring up your website registered for 10 years over the one that was only registered for 1 year with a domain name. So that's number 6 on the page, and we're going to be going through numbers 1 to 6 here in a moment.
Gary?
How are you making out, Brian?
Did you want My Centric 21 or my ICI?
The point 2 website that we supplied you.
Oh.
You want to get to it. It should be on your favorites bar, and
Yeah,
then log in,
it.
get yourself logged into it.
I'm in.
And okay, good show. Just keep it there, and in the background, I'm going to be switching the computer over to you in a moment, and we'll see if we can access it through your computer, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And all right, now on the screen, I'm going to click on this real estate resources, iciworld.com/real estate resources, and you're going to see that it's going to bring up a page that has links to various and different things. And you'll see that there's more people now. If they had to give up their TV or internet, you'll get 1 out of maybe 30 that'll keep their TV. The rest will keep their internet if they had to choose between them. You'll see World Real Estate stats, and you'll see another thing here called real estate lead generation, social media. There's more education here, real estate news and advice, website recommendations, and you'll see also ICI World links down here. All of these are sort of lead generation tools. If you click on real estate lead generation tools, there's 50 do-it-yourself marketing ideas for your real estate business. Drip email resources. So in other words, there's a lot of good stuff going on here where people are studying it, spend a lot of time, care, and attention on putting together these things, and we have assembled them all into this one page to make it easier for you to kind of identify these things right off the bat. And I'm going to suggest that looking at all of this looks like a mountain. It looks like a mountain to climb, and you say, I don't have the time for this. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I can tell you, though, that if you want to climb a mountain, you go one step at a time. You just take one item, break it down, and try to employ the one item. And you can go one at a time. And I'll show you things. In a lot of cases, these are all free, what I'm showing you. If you want to jump to the top right away and you got a few bucks, I can show you how to do that. Within 48 hours of today, you can be at the top of the search engines. I'm going to cover that before we are finished. Within 48 hours, you can be at the top of the search engines. But I'm going to show you what you want to have in place first so you don't waste your money. Let me just close this. Actually, I can go right back to the page here. So that link includes lead generation, social media, and more. And I'll move on. So what I'm going to do is switch over now to Brian's website, Brian's computer. Hang on. I'm going to make you the presenter here, Brian, if I may. If you could answer show my screen. And hopefully everybody's going to see it here in a moment. I'm still waiting to see it. And are you still there, Brian?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, oh, don't tell me my computer's, oh no, we're getting it. I got it. Okay, now can everyone else see Brian's, now have you logged in, Brian?
I believe I log in automatically when I...
No, actually you have to go down to the bottom of the page, Brian, and click on sign in. Can you go down to the bottom of the, you have to go down to the bottom of the page and sign in. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to ask for keyboard and mouse control here. One moment. Get yourself signed in, Brian, please.
Yep.
Now, there we go there. Okay, good job. And I'm also going to now request keyboard and mouse control. If you could answer yes to that, please. Okay, you've done that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, people, so you'll notice that you can mark this down if you have one of these websites. And even if you don't have one of these websites, some of the items I'm going to cover are applicable to your own website, whether you have a website or not with us. But you must log into this website a minimum of once a month, and that's to keep your website current. If you don't log in, it's a way of forcing the responsibility back onto all of your shoulders, every one of you, to make sure that you keep your information current, your listings current. And if you're not logging into your website information can actually go and get cut off from being on other brokers' websites because point two figures, you're not logging in, so you're not looking after your information and updating it. It's a way of them of sort of withholding your listings from showing up on other brokers' websites because it appears that you're not looking after your information. That's one way they have of doing that. Now, when you do log into this website, you must log into this one and click on your to-do list right off the bat. And you'll see that right away to add a listing. And up here, there's actually no listings, so the number of handshakes that you will get if you have no listings, and Brian just started, that's one of the reasons there's no listings here, is going to be directly proportional to you having at least one or two listings on here, and then other brokers are going to agree to share their listings with you and vice versa. You'll notice down here that 9 brokers have actually joined down here and have agreed to allow their listings to actually be on your website. Now, if you don't approve these listings, there's 65 listings from this one company here, for instance, that are not appearing on your website. We're recommending that you click on the word approve. You'll see the approve column fill in. And bingo, when you save these changes, if that's okay with you, Brian, I'm going to approve them.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And now you've got these extra listings on your website. Now, if somebody had gone to your website, say, an hour ago and didn't see one of these listings that could have interested them, you could actually be misdoing a deal and actually not even realize it. Now, I'm going to show you something else here. Up at the top right corner, there's a question mark up here, and I'm going to click on it. One of the things it shows is something special called a user manual. This user manual can be very helpful for you, and you'll see that there's a complete instructions on how to basically do almost everything on this website. And I'm going to click on the first one using the user manual. You'll see if I click on Online Center, all different things that are going on here, and Getting Started. And under Getting Started, there should be how to promote your website. There it is, marketing your website. So if you want to mark that down, it's called Getting Started, Market Your Website. What good is the website if you have no traffic going to your website? So that's what we're here about today. And you're going to see that they have, starting with registering a domain name. Now, registering a domain name, you want to have a domain name with the word real estate. I'm suggesting one of them should have the word real estate in your domain name along with your community. In your case, Brian, you're in Woodstock, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, anytime people that I mention Woodstock for the next 10 to 15 minutes or 5 to 15 minutes, whatever, how long I mention it, simply substitute your community wherever you do business. If it's Thornhill, Miami, San Diego, Vancouver, Mississauga, Collingwood, it does not matter. Substitute Woodstock for your community, and everything that I am saying applies to your community. And that's why the power of what we're doing here applies to your particular community. In other words, even though ICI World is worldwide, when it comes to your local community, why this stuff becomes powerful is because it's tailoring your website to be strong in your local community by using what I'm about to share with you. And it starts with a domain name. Mark down, number 1, domain name. On the sheet, we gave you 6 items to mark down. Number 1 is domain name. You want to have a domain name that has your community in it along with the word real estate. Now, if you want to say homes for sale, Woodstock, you can actually mute your phone if you wish, Brian. We love dogs, but if we can have a little quieter, that's fine now. Appreciate that. Thank you. And it's good working with you because we got the tools sort of going along nicely here. So you want to substitute Woodstock for whatever domain name you have. And you want to have real estate and Woodstock into one of your domain names. We're recommending 3 domain names. One of your domain names I recommend could be your own name. The reason for that, if somebody in this case is briankeeping.com, those people in your sphere of influence, people that you might meet at a wedding or in your, in a bowling league or at the hockey rink or wherever you're going to be, they know you, they can remember your name, your acquaintances, relatives, all those people can remember your name and end up going to your website real easy by just adding .com. But that doesn't trigger leads off the internet. It triggers leads locally for people that know you and pass your name on to other customers. Other customers can recommend you, and that's how you can start doing more referrals, is having your customers referring people to you and tell them to start with the website, program the website, go in there, subscribe to receive listings, and next thing you know, they start doing that and start receiving good service from your website automatically. And it starts with getting them to go to your website, which having your own domain name can do that in a simple fashion. Theoretically, if you could have woodstockrealestate.com, that would be good, but that name's probably already taken. But for other people coming online in new communities, you should always check it. You never know. You could be the first one to kind of get it. It's like the yellow pages. Whoever gets these names first gets them. That's just the way it is. Okay, and then you'll see adding listings, promoting your website in offline mediums, for instance. I just happened to click on that. What's stopping you from putting your website on all of these different mediums that you see on this screen? In other words, you want to start with your business card, but you want to get it into everything that you are doing. So if people want more information, if you have it on your lawn sign and people want more information on that house, and you have it featured on the front page of your website, which you should have your listings featured on the front page of each of your websites, people can literally type it in to their mobile device while they're sitting in front of a house, get to your website, and see featured ad. And bingo, they got all the information right there in front of them, along with your contact name and phone number. They give you a call, they go see the home, and it'll all happen because your website was mobilized. You had a featured ad on your mobilized website, and it all just comes in handy, and it starts with putting it on your lawn signs. How many people here have it on your lawn signs? I don't think one of you have it yet. People, this is cutting-edge technology. I'm excited for each and every one of you in real estate more than ever, because we never had these tools in our day 40 years ago as a broker in the business. And these tools are just so exciting today, and comparing them with the old tools, it's amazing what can be done today because of the advent of the internet. All of these other items, they're all in your website. You can go check out all of this stuff yet later and start to get your website and everything branded on everything that you do. Okay, I'm actually going to close that particular tab. I hope I'm returning to the online office, which I am. And I'm going to go to this online office up here to point 2 and get back to it. And then you're going to see that there's some other information here where you can add listings. There's also prospects database here. You can set up prospects that if somebody comes to your website, it will keep track of the prospects that come to your website. And you can approach these people afterwards. Again, that's keeping in touch with people. And you can also set it that it will send a text message to your mobile device if somebody fills in say a request for more information on something. It can actually notify you by text message when somebody visits your website, and bingo, you get a copy of it. So ICI World is an official distributor of these websites. We're an official educator of these websites. We're an official first line of design and support for these websites. We're doing things with these websites that other people are not doing worldwide with the Point 2 sites that kick it up a notch tremendously, that can be the difference of making money and not making money. So it's really good to have us supply you the website rather than getting it direct. It's the same cost, $199 per year, free for 1 month, then $199 per year. Okay, let's move on. Now I'm going to click on websites, and you're going to notice that there's a choice to edit or preview the website. I'm going to click on edit. Now this is where it becomes similar for other brokers that have other websites that are not Point 2. I'm going to go to something up here called page settings. Now page settings, this becomes one of the beginning of optimizing everybody's website. Now Brian, do you see the word Toronto on the screen? You don't even have to come online, you see them. Start changing the word Toronto to Woodstock every place you see it. I'm going to let you do it, Brian, while I'm talking. So if you can start doing it, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Now, what Brian's doing is he is now optimizing his website for Woodstock. And if you want to put in Woodstock, Ingersoll, and Southwestern Ontario, you're welcome to do that. And if you want to put in homes, condos, and commercial real estate, if you agree with that, if you want to add farms, you could do that. But Brian is now optimizing his website for Woodstock, and you can come back and do Woodstock and other areas later, Brian. Thank you for just doing Woodstock now. This is just beautiful what you're doing, because it shows people that there's 4 more things. Now, you notice I marked down number 1 on your pad of paper. Mark down number 2, please, called page title. You notice how he has changed the page title to Woodstock. This is number 2 on the big 6 that I'm calling, the big 6. Page title. And number 3 is the meta tags, the meta description. The meta description. And number 4, people, is the meta keywords. Mark those down. You want to go into your website, whether you know how to do it or not, you need to get this done. If I say that your car needs the electronic ignition to be fixed, you will take it to a mechanic to get it fixed, but at least you know it's electronic ignition. I'm now showing you the electronic ignition for a website. You need to get these things done. You need a domain name with the word Woodstock in it. You need a page title with your local community, whether it be Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough. I don't care what community you're in. You need it in there so that your website will apply. And then you want to put some words on the front page of your website. We'll do that later, not now. We'll do that later, where you will refer to Woodstock Real Estate in Woodstock. Give me a call. Just putting those sentences in will kind of help. Now, somehow you're getting bounced out of here for some reason whatsoever. If you can get back to the website, the one that we were just working on. It's probably one of the other buttons there. Probably Century 21 Online Office. There it is, next to GoDaddy on your favorites bar, maybe. I'm hoping it's that one. If it's not that one, it'll be the tab way up at the top. At the tab way up at the top, Brian. That's it. I think it's that one. So that happens to me. Sometimes you touch the touchpad on computers, and oh, that's not it. Now, hopefully it's that one, the first one. What happened to your website? If you have to get yourself logged back in, go ahead and do so. Now, we've got 4 of the 6 major ingredients. Just click on Sign In at the bottom, and you'll actually be back in. And that should kind of get it going. How do we set up the prospects? We have another question coming online. You can type, by the way, your questions in the chat window. Every one of you has a chat window. If you expand the control panel at the top right corner, and this is wonderful, Mona, for typing in your question there. Type in the control panel. You can type your question in there and get it exactly right, and then you can chat your question to me, and then when I see the question mark and have a chance, I can actually answer it, and we'll answer that. Actually, I don't know how quickly I can do that, and if I can't do it quickly, Mona, I'll help you one-on-one. I'll help everyone one-on-one later, so as not to take up our time, because we do have 20 minutes left here. So the question was, how do you set up the prospect system to receive text messages to come to us? I'm going to suggest you all mark this number down, each of you. Mark down this number, 866-977-1777. That's the number for point 2. That's the fastest way that I can answer without having to take up time and show it here and search it to do it. But you call the point 2 agent people. They are open from 10:30 to 6:30. 10:30 to 6:30, write it down. 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. And that's what if I don't have the answer or time to do it, I give you the answer by showing you where to get it. And that's what we all do in real estate too for people if we don't know something. So great question, very good. All right, did you get logged in at the bottom, Brian? Just click on sign in at the bottom if you can. We have covered the items. Now, for some reason, it doesn't seem to be. I could see you moving your mouse, but if you go down to the bottom of the page, Brian, you should click on sign in. use your slide bar to slide it all the way down on the right-hand side and click on Sign In at the very, very bottom. You're not at the bottom yet. You'll notice, people, that he's got the Facebook and LinkedIn and everything at the bottom right corner, so you can have all of those nicely right on your website. Very nice. Oh, it says Sign Out at the bottom, so go to the very top of the page now. The very top of the page, just slide your mouse slide bar from the right-hand side, slide it to the top so that we can get to the very, very top. You can also click and hit the Home button. It will take you up there faster. Okay, you can actually take your hand off the mouse now. And where we were designing, now watch this, people. I'm going to show you something else. You're going to see that there's all kinds of other buttons here that you could be working on. You can have Woodstock as a page, and you can actually optimize these various and different pages. Now, on this Ontario commercial page, for instance, you can actually even optimize this page by going to, this is the page that we're optimizing, and you'll see that you can edit the IDX listing display, and you can edit the header, and you can go to the page settings and do these things. I'm actually going to go to the page settings and kind of do it here. You can change all of these things. There's the page settings right there. This page is actually already sort of optimized with Ontario Commercial. You got Woodstock, Ontario. That's good. So you can use different terms on all of the individual pages from within your website, go to page settings and optimize them. Now, if we were to kind of go back to the main page, I don't know if you got a chance to save it on the home page, but let's go back and do it. And then click on page settings here on your home page and see, okay, they never did get entered and saved in time, Brian, so it looked like that page got lost, so you're going to have to redo it. And that's the way that works. So far we have that, but I'm going to do something else on Brian's page, so just let me take over for a moment, Brian. Assuming that you've done all of those, I'm going to show you the big one. This was like a $4,000 lesson, having to go down to Google and kind of learn all this stuff, or down to, it was actually at the Las Vegas Hilton Convention Center, and we were there for a week going in seminars from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. And what you're going to see is I'm going to click on Edit Content, and you're going to see that we've actually already changed the first line on the page to be bolded, and we've got the Woodstock real estate in it. This, by the way, people, is number 5. Highlight the first sentence on the page. Highlight the first sentence on the page in bold and in little bigger letters. I don't know if those letters are a little bigger, Brian, or not. Do they look the same size as the other letters? I'm not sure. But bolded in a little bigger letters, get your key words in there. So here's what happens. Somebody goes out there and starts to search Google, and we're going to go do that now. And I'm going to switch back to my computer. That was just great logging into your website. Thank you, Brian, very, very much. Let's move on and go to Google right now. And you're welcome, Mona. Thanks a million for that other advice to get the text messages working. Let's type in, this works what I'm doing for every community in the world. In the case of Woodstock, it's important to put in Woodstock, Ontario, and part of the reason for that is that there was a very famous Woodstock, that there was a festival that long time ago, and sometimes that comes up. So Woodstock, Ontario, real estate, wouldn't it be nice if Brian's website would come up? And when we search, this is what does come up, and you'll see that coming up. Now, his company is actually one of the largest companies in the area, and you'll see that their website, I think this is your company, Brian, if I'm not mistaken, is already coming up right away, and that's great. Now, if you want to come up here on the top, even before that, you can. These people are using what is called pay-per-clicks, and you'll see the word ad right there. You'll see the word ad right there. These are pay-per-click ads. If you click on the little I that's why these ads, you'll see a little explanation of what explains what are these particular ads. And it sort of explains it. These can be pay-per-click. how pay-per-click works is this. If someone, let's say, bids, by the way, everyone should open up a Google Ad account. Mark that down. Google Ad account. Everybody will open up one. And I'm about to give you some good news. I'm about to give you $100 in pay-per-click advertising, absolutely free, simply by telling you that you can get it. So this session, you've actually got $100 right back. Bingo. Helps pay for the membership by simply asking Google to give you $100 free, and you can mention to them that ICI World mentioned it to you, that you could have that. And if there's any issue ever getting that, let me know, because I will stop representing it if they ever change that. I wouldn't know they changed it until somebody notified me, if they ever did. So with this $100 of free ads, they would like you to add some money into it someday, and you could have a $100 to $300 a month budget. And the key thing is, are you making money? If after 1, 2, or 3 months you're not making money, you should stop. You shouldn't be advertising. It's not making you money. I'm going to suggest you give me a call. And I would like to know, what are the key words? Why are so many people clicking on the ad? Here's how it works. Let's say that you bid $1 per click. Looking at the page now, all of these ads at the top that say ads, all of the ads on the right-hand side, these are coming up, and it will be absolutely free for people to see that. Your name will come up for your city. Absolutely free. This does not cost money to see these ads until you click on one of these free ads. Once you click on it, if you have a budget of $100 a month and it's $1 per click, that means that you will get 100 clicks, and then your budget will be gone. Make sure that you set a top limit. If you have a $1 click budget and you don't give them a limit, and there were 1,000 clicks, you could get $1,000 charged to your credit card. So make sure that you put you can see how the pay-per-click works. It's only when somebody clicks on an ad. Now, each of you has a very, very special site, including Brian. If somebody clicks on Woodstock, in Brian's case, and they click on residential, they're going to see listings in Woodstock area, and bingo, if nothing can trigger a lead more than that, I don't know what will. And so if you're not getting leads, Brian, after doing this, there's got to be a reason. You better call me because there's something wrong. And if I go in and I see that you've got listings in Woodstock right on your website, and $200 was used up and you never got one call, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care how many clicks and how many traffic everybody says that you're getting, if you're not triggering the actual lead from a client, then I want to call Google and go on a conference call with you and say, listen, $300 was used, he's got listings, he never got one call. What could be the reason? You're telling us he's getting clicks, but nothing's happening. Well, we found out and challenged Google a long time ago. It wasn't Google. It happened to be another service many, many years ago. And it turned out that the competition was clicking on all the clicks. If a competition clicked 100 times on your link, that would use up your $100 budget. Your ad would drop down. The other competition's link would jump up into your place, and that's what was going on. That's called search engine sort of fraud. It's not very good. And so because this was becoming an issue, Google and others set it up so that if somebody clicks on it once from a certain IP address, it would remember that address and would not allow another click to go onto that budget. And so people had to be reimbursed in the past from other search engines, major ones that were out there. They had to be reimbursed because of an industry-wide court case because of the search engine, all of these number of clicks that were going on, fraudulent clicks going on. So that's why you should never let it go. Call us, we'll come into it, and we're going to try to examine. You should be getting results from doing pay-per-click, every one of you, and you should be doing deals. Now, you should be getting the leads. It will be up to you to do the deals. Is there any questions on pay-per-click? Now, I mentioned that there were 5 items to write down. You should have them all. The 6th one is to register a name for 10 years. If you register a name for 10 years, you will have an advantage over somebody that only registered for 1 year. If you have the highlight in bold on the front page of your website with your community and real estate in it, you will have an advantage of people that don't. If you have the meta keywords, the meta descriptions, the page title, and the domain name, all of those items, hopefully you've all got them nicely written down, then you will have an advantage over other people that don't have those items. In addition to that, you now know that you can have a pay-per-click working for you literally within 48 hours. It should be coming up when you do that special search. If it happens to be Mississauga, you might not have to put in Mississauga, Ontario. You might just be able to put in Mississauga, Ontario. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-A-U-G-A, almost like Mississippi. Press that in. Bingo, you can be coming up right off the bat when it comes up. And you'll see the Mississauga Real Estate Board coming up. By the way, people, it just so happens, are there any members here today that are members of the Mississauga Real Estate Board? Are there any members? Yes, I do have another question coming in. Can I please relist the 6 items? The 6 items are domain name, number 1, page title, number 2, meta description, number 3, and you want to know something? Maybe I should put them on the screen for you. Let's do it. Let's do the 6 major items. Let's just go and add a new slide. Add the slide to the presentation. And let's just do it here. 6 items. 6 items to the top. How's that? Now, let's see if I can list them here. Let's do it in the form of a numbers. Where's the numbers thing here? There they are there. Okay, let's just do these kind of numbers. And let's list them. The first one is domain name. I've never put them here, but this is a good idea to put them here. Page title. Number 3, meta description. Number 4, meta keywords. Number 5, highlight first sentence on page, bold, and font. I'll do the font as well. Okay. Number 6, register domain 10 years. Now, if you get it through GoDaddy for 10 years, you can actually get it through GoDaddy.com. It's $9.99 for the first year only. Times 10 would be $99. It's a special you only get one time only. All right, so you can keep that in mind. So that's going to be 6 items to the top, and let's save that. That'll be in our next items going on. Okay, people, let's move on, and we're now going to start recap, going through what we've covered here today. We'll cover a few new items as well, and we're going to move on here. Oopsie daisy. I clicked the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so those are your 6 items to the top. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? For good measure, let's put in pay-per-click, 48 hours to the top. Okay, we'll actually add 7 items. 7 items. The first ones are free, and that's sort of the way why they're there. And that'll give you something to see. Okay. Unless there's anyone else saying anything, I'm going to move on. So I've been getting questions typed to me through the chat window. It's at the top right-hand corner, and away you go, Brian. Away you go. The session today, people, was scheduled to finish at exactly 12:30. We are at 12:27. Okay, let's move on. And if you do have to leave, away you go. So we've covered a lot of these items. One of these things, search engine optimization from Google. Again, if I was to click on that, you're going to see that it comes up with this page. This is a support page from Google. If you have Google Analytics, you're going to have full access to all of this advice from Google on search engine optimization. And it'll tell you what to be careful of. And to be careful of SEO firms and web consultants that send you email out of the blue. It'll tell you that no one can really kind of guarantee a #1 ranking on anything. And be careful if your company is secretive or won't clearly explain what they intend to do. So you can kind of figure out to all of these things. And don't link to a search engine because they can end up, they talk about free-for-all links, but if you don't pay them, it doesn't get done. Forget about all that stuff. So there's a lot of great stuff. These are all links in the training video section on ICI World. Okay, let's continue on here. We're going to wind down. What are ways to promote your website? This PowerPoint is also available under section number 15 in the training videos as well, so you can kind of go through it again. You can do that. Driving, we've already talked about keyword-rich domain name, having your own name in the domain name. We talked about, what do you call it, training videos about using GoDaddy to do different things and to have your name. I like them because they got a 24-hour number to help you. There has been the odd complaint I've heard about service because they will not do it for you. They will teach you how to do it, but they got so many millions of customers, they don't want to be doing it for everybody, so they'll teach you how to do it. Handing out your business card, we'll finish off with this today. When you hand out your business card, you just don't tell them you got a website. You tell them what you have on your website. The idea is to tell them that you've got color photos, slideshow displays of residential and commercial properties, that you've got exclusive properties on your website, you've got MLS properties on your website, and tell them that you even have buyers on your website. And that's what you want to do with your business card every single time you hand it out. Get excited telling them about that. We've covered the keywords, we've covered the meta tags, we've covered these links, the 48 hours to the top. If you set yourself a budget, we've covered that. The search tool, you're going to get these search tools from Google. They will allow you to search various keywords that people are searching. So if you put in Woodstock, Ontario real estate, what are the other search terms that other people are using? They will give you a guideline to what those other search terms are, and they will provide you with that search tool. Home pages are like billboards. Yes, you can have more than one website. You can link them together. You only need one website domain name on a business card. So yes, you can have more than one website. They're like billboards. They can all be generating leads for you. These are some of the other things you can be doing. Putting your domain name, spreading it around. Economic development agencies, that's at your city website. Agencies and embassies around the world are giving out information to local people who want to immigrate, that are immigrating. They actually source some of these things out, search for real estate bingo. They come up with you as a name through your local city hall. If you registered your name with the Economic Development Agency as a realtor in the area, people from other countries can access it through embassies. Okay, email multicast. If you send out, once a month a little multicast to all of your people, a newsletter, or do it in a blog, always include your website address and tell them what's on it. Telling a builder, for instance, if you've got 100 pieces of development land on your website, and they can go there, they can click on Ontario Commercial, and they can click on residential development land, commercial sites, bingo, you can see by telling people what's on your website. Builders are always looking for land to build, and you have it. You've got infill development sites, development land, lots, and FRAP plan approved lots ready to go, 3 to 5 year away land. You've got it all. joining groups, networking your website to all of them, telling them what's on your website. So if it's a restaurant owner, tell them you got 100 restaurants on your website. You know, you can see the buyers and sellers of restaurants right on your website. And all of the social media, we've covered this at the very beginning. You should have them all. This can help bring traffic to your website. You can get into radio ads as well and studying keywords. Don't try to trick the search engines. Whatever you do, it can backfire. Finding the keywords with keyword suggestion tools, that's actually a duplicate. I can remove that slide now since we've got the other one in. Linking to other sites, if a mortgage broker, if you link to a mortgage broker, send him business, he should put your website on his website so it links back to you to generate business for each of you. You can actually sell ads on your website as well. You could sell car ads, the same thing all media are doing. You can end up doing and maybe do reciprocal links with people depending on what it is that you're doing. It's called reciprocal links with all these various services. We link back to you driving things to your website and vice versa. And all the different things that we do. You put the links in the ads back to your website in the listings that you put on ICI World, and it links back to you, so we actually drive traffic directly from the listings that you put on ICI World, driving that back to your website. 22-minute presentation, we've already talked about that, domain names, and that's an editor of a newspaper who used to write about websites that don't do very good. And so there are always other articles out there about bad website design, but that's now good. We've talked basically a little bit about click fraud. Don't let anything go. If you're spending money for search engine optimization with anyone, don't let it go longer 1, 2, 3 months. Give us a call if you're not getting results. Our pledge is no one should go longer than 90 days without doing some business, either a deal or generating leads that you feel will lead to doing business. Otherwise, give us a call and we'll kind of go through things. We'll check everything for material defects, traffic. And if you're stuck on anything longer than 5 to 8 minutes, time is money. Get your $100 from Google by simply asking for it, and entering your business on Google Maps is free as well. Now, we're going to finish with a survey. I'm like everyone to respond to me if they get that survey that's coming up. What I do at this time is officially end the seminar at this time. But what I'm also going to do is handle questions for another 15, 20 minutes. And I've got people thanking me, and they're starting to leave, and that's great. Is it possible to get a copy of this presentation? The answer is absolutely yes. And let's see if I've got the copy of this presentation. I've actually recorded it, so you're going to have a recording of it, Ariel. One of the questions people are listening to me, so you'll have a copy of those 6 items. You're going to get a copy of everything in the way of a YouTube video that I will upload shortly and make it available in the training videos that are on ICI World. Secondly, the PowerPoint presentation of this, let's go have a quick look and see if that's also available in our training videos. I'm going to go to ICIWorld.com. And let's go right to our main website, ICIWorld.com. We'll finish off with this a little bit. People that do need to leave, we're 5 minutes over. We'll take about 2 more minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions. And I'm going to click on the blog up here, and people ask, do you have it available? Well, if you ever went to the blog, you're going to see that there it is right there, how to promote your website. And when you click on it, up comes a page of information, and there's the blog right off the bat. You click on that, and it comes up, and it talks all about what we've done today. Learn how to maximize the screen and play it. By that button, when you click on it, you can click on it in the middle, and you'll see it. I'm actually going to stop that. I'm going to click on the escape button, go back here, and you'll see that you can control the video and see them at your own time. They'll also be in the login screen over here. And when I go to login, down at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see something called training videos. And you'll see all the videos that we make exclusive for the use of executive members. You'll see them all come up on the screen. Everybody should get through videos number 2 to 7. And anybody asking about the 15 questions, there's your answer. If you can't get to 15 after listening to this 12-minute video, please give me a call. It's probably just a little tweak of something. We've had it to tweak it a few times with a few people to let them know, to understand it. And bingo, they went right out, started getting listings. They started to get actual listings of properties when they started to do these things for some people. It'll help you get MLS listings, which is still amongst the best way to market. But if you can't get MLS listings, and you work all the information in the marketplace to make you money. Going down to number 15, there's the number 14, the resource links you should have on your website. There's section 5, and you'll see that in segment 5, pardon me, how to promote your website. There's a whole list of things that you can be doing here. We're suggesting that you study all of this over the next year. Yep, yes. Study it the next year, over the next year. These are should become part of your marketing plans to understand how to get more people going to your website. Google advertising fundamentals. And if people that want to take it to a real nth degree, you can get into variant testing and all kinds of things that are very far advanced in terms of search engine marketing. You don't have to get into that now. Get into the basics, people, and how to kind of do that. How to build your business online. There's a non-technical guide. These are all interesting articles that we have put in here for your use. The PowerPoint presentation is right here. So if you wanted a copy of today's presentation, it's actually already available in the training video section on ICI World when you log in. All right, now if there's anybody that wants to ask any more questions, you can type them in right now, because I'm going to be counting down that we're going to be leaving here shortly. I could actually stop the recording now. I think I will, and sign off. And for anybody that wants further information on anything, simply go to our main website, iciworld.com, click on the blog, become a member, or recommend other members. By the way, just so everyone knows, everyone's renewal will be $3.19 to renew. But if you recommend somebody, make sure you tell us, and then we'll put the person's name on your account. And when you renew, it will be $240. So by recommending someone to join, it will be $240 for you to renew whenever your renewal date is. If you get more than one person to renew, we will put their names on your record, and then you will also be able to get 3-month bonus for everyone else that you renew or recommend that does join within a 3-month period. And if those people, if you get 4 of them, you actually get a full year free, 3 months for each one, so you get a total free year if you get 4 people to join. And then the person joining, by the way, instead of having to join for $319, they can actually join for $240. So that's part of our sponsorship program. If you want to read about it, you can just click on the join up here at the top. And then if we go down just a tiny bit, you'll see that it says corporate and sponsored members. And there's the sponsorship program right there for all members. You can be recommending the service. See us at the Toronto Real Estate Board Realtor Quest coming up May 7th and 8th. And if you want to come and help us at the booth, you're welcome to. If you want to see what goes on at the booth, you can click on these testimonials up here. We have everybody coming by telling us about all the deals that they're doing. There it is right there. I could play it. It's under testimonials. And you'll see people in the background here. There's about 8,000 people attending this particular show at the Toronto Real Estate Board. We recommend every single realtor in the world should attend this. You can see more products and services in 1 2-day period than you could ever see throughout the rest of the year trying to go to places one-on-one on your own time. Everyone in Ontario should come in there. I think there's a small charge, I think, for people that are not members of the Toronto Real Estate Board, but you can come because you're a realtor. You can get a hold of the Toronto Real Estate Board direct to do that. If you want to work at our booth, there is a way to do that too. You can give us a call. We have about 7 people working the booth. We're looking to actually sign up as many as 100 people at this show, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. We've had as many as 40 before, but we never had a lot of people. There's just so many people in a short time. We're getting other people now to help us, including all our instructors and the 5 people that we have working in the office here. That's it for today, people. Please let me know if the survey comes up, if you're able to add some comments into the survey. We really would love to have your feedback in consideration of us doing this particular seminar for you. That concludes our session for today. I'm now going to stop the recording and invite everyone to always take part and make appointments for anything that you want to take advantage of here, and including our pledge to make sure that you're making money. Have a great day and a great weekend, and if you're not at home, safe drive home. If you're at home, have a cup of coffee and a good lunch, and talk to you later.